Okay, so tonight we're starting where we left off. We're here in Thornton. So, oh, he's off under the bridge. Obviously looking to beat me to the next stop in Cardenden. was fooled there. I thought it was a red light coming up. So we're coming up on Cardenden. One of the longest runs between stations on the line. Very short platform here. So there we are, Cardenden, just a few seconds late. Again, I think this is going to be a short station. There we go, Loch Ellie. A few stops we've got on this trip. So that's our early warning of the 30 change. So I'm not pushing the train too much beyond this. I don't want to waste the fuel to get up all the way to 60. So we've got a nice sharp bend here, so that's why we're going fairly slow around it. And people say that sharp bends don't exist. Several in Fife. So as you can see, we've got a 60, but very soon after we've got a 20. So again, I'm not going to push it much beyond the 30. So that I've got 20. And just like driving on the road, you've got to be at the speed at the sign, and you can only speed up once the whole train is past the sign. So you see that when the 60 comes, I can't go 60 until the last carriage has entered the 60 block. So the longer the train is, yeah, so the longer the train is, the longer you have to abide by the lower speed limit. So you'll see here, I'll pass the 60 board, but the speed I'm allowed to go won't change till 60 until I'm actually past the 65. But of course, we're then coming into Cowdenbeath, so I'll be looking to slow down again fairly soon. Again, people walking in front of the train. That really is an unfortunate bug within the game. I don't remember that happening the last time I played. This is the first time I've actually played in a good long time, so since they upgraded to 2022 anyway. And I've made a mistake. It didn't have the doors open symbol, so I didn't. So yeah, so I didn't actually see that happening. Let's have a look at another. There was a short one that I saw. I can see that we did have 5 people watching, which is a lot for my streams. Usually people catch up after. I was doing quite well on that one. It's quite long to start it again. Yeah, let's go for it again. So when you make a mistake like that, um, you have you have to start again, which is rather annoying. I think there is a way to save as you go in, but I always forget to. Hopefully the quality is okay again tonight. Again, I've made some changes to the settings, so I hope you're getting 1080 60 frames, and that the sound should be coming through a bit clearer than it was last night. Do let me know if there's any routes that you think would be good for me to do, and if I've got them, then I'll do them. The Class 68 isn't normally on this route. It's normally a 158 or 170s that do this route. There must have been a time that it did run, because knowing the detail that's been put into this game. Oops. Knowing the detail that's been put into this game, and one of the main developers is actually here in Stirling, so the Scottish routes, they can go and see them quite easily. So it's not like it's a long distance to travel to almost anywhere in Scotland, especially if they're doing train routes. So we got to Cowdenbeath. Yeah, it says pick up passengers. I did open the doors, but I didn't get the normal. Yeah, I didn't get the normal bar that we got. And also the arrival time didn't show. So we'll see if that happens this time again and see if it's maybe just that there was some kind of bug there. And although I did go with the doors open, there was always going to be a problem at that station. Again, the detail in this cab is just, if you wanted to do point and click driving, you can. Again, here, this is where I thought that I had a red coming up, but the green shows just at the last minute, just so the last time I did actually slow down for it, but it was green. This is one part of the Fife Circle I've never actually done on a real train. I've done Fermlin round to Edinburgh, and I've done Edinburgh up to Thornton, but I've never done this side. The top of the circle. But from what I know of the roads around this area, it looks right. The bridges are definitely the right place. And definitely around the stations, some of the detail that they've added, like the caravans in Thornton, um, and places like next to the airport as well, where you actually have an airport with planes sitting there. So again, we're coming back up to Cardenden. Um, Cardenden is a little town. Um, Fife is quite lucky with this route. Um, lots of towns that you wouldn't expect to have train service have a fairly regular. I keep forgetting with this train, you have to fully release the brake, otherwise it just keeps slowing down. I'm a little bit short, but I'll live with that. at least one door of every carriage is in the station. It's nice to see so many people joining me on the stream. I'm just sitting here playing the games, so I thought we may as well record them, and then I can dissect what goes on after. Um, to help me do a better strategy for not undershooting and not overshooting. The station platforms. The Fife Circle, because it's small towns, they do tend to have fairly short platforms. Which makes it great for the 158 and the 170s. Not so much for a local haul like I've got here. So we're on an uphill to Lochелly. You can see that by the graph at the bottom. You can see the line slowly increasing. Which shows you that it's a 1 in 122. So I do need to keep some power on. And then obviously I don't want to roll back when I'm in the station either. I think it would be nice to drive a Seven Cities intercity through this route as well, just to see what it's like. We still have HST sets here in Scotland. They're branded as Seven Cities, and they do the main route between Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Inverness. And I think they also do some Glasgow, Aberdeen services as well. So here we are. Fully in, a bit shorter than I was in last time, but it looks like the whole train is in the station. So I did arrive a bit early again here. Waiting for nobody. But we've got to keep to the timetable. What I felt was quite strange last night when I was playing this was that obviously there's no signal to tell you that the doors are all shut. When I was driving the 158 and the 170s, you do get the buzz from the conductor to tell you that the doors are shut, but on this one you don't. There's nothing. There's nothing that tells you that I can see. So we'll just start getting ready to go as soon as we are allowed. So again, we've got the speed limits, varying speed limits coming up. So I'm going to go a little beyond, but then not push the train too much beyond it so that I'm not wasting too much power by coming back down to speed. So again, it looks like we don't have a time that we're due in Cowdenbeath, but our ETA is 8:02. So we've got a 30, a 60, a 20, a 60 and a 65 to deal with here. So we've had the warning that we're going into a 20. It's almost like that 60 shouldn't be there. Because by the time that my whole train is in that 60, yeah, I'm gonna have to be slowing down for the 20. So there's really no need for that 60 to be there at all. So here we go, another sharp bend. As I say, these sharp bends do exist in the real railway. And obviously this isn't a main line, but it's main enough to have a decent service. So there's the 158, one of the trains that would normally be on this route. 2-car or the 3-car 170s. It's really what you would find on this route. Sometimes a mix of a 170 and a 158 joined together. So I'm just thinking about what I'm going to do when I get to Cowdenbeath, because if I don't get that bar to tell me that my waiting time is up, maybe I'll just stick my head out the window. So just stick my head out the window. Oh, that lady decided to come out of the train. So this time I've got the bar. I didn't have that the last time. Okay. So I observed the doors closing this time, so they're definitely closed. Thanks for all the likes. It really does make playing a game worthwhile. So now we're heading to Dunfermline Queen Margaret, and as I said earlier, I've not actually been on a train between Thornton and Dunfermline Queen Margaret, but I've done Queen Margaret to Edinburgh Waverley, and I've done Thornton to Edinburgh Waverley a couple of times. So we're now on a downhill. As you can see, the line at the bottom is going down, so I need to balance my speed. Hear the fans and the loco going as I expel energy. Obviously, if this was an electric loco, that all that energy would be going back into the grid. Here we just turn it to heat and blow it out the top. This really is quite a steep gradient. We can see the station just coming into view. And way past it. But it looks like it's just the local. Just have a look. Well, looks like it's more than just the local, but you know, the game's happy. Okay, so on to Dunfermline Town, which really isn't that far away. Um, but the two stations in Dunfermline are quite well placed. Queen Margaret being next to the hospital, and then Dunfermline Town being closer to the town centre. Not right in the town centre, but close enough. So again, I don't really want to go too fast because I'm going to be I'm going downhill and I'm going to be coming into the station quite quickly. Let's hope I can do better getting into this station. Hit the brake a bit too long there. If you keep holding the button for the brake, it just goes straight into emergency, even though you really wouldn't be using the emergency. I would assume that the actual controls of the local would have like a notch that you hit and you have to go beyond that notch. Obviously at home here I don't have controls like that. So again, I'm ahead of time just a little bit. The other night when I did this in the 158, I was really dragging for time. I was really too slow. Um, this local just has a lot more power to it. And you can feel that in the game. It's not, I actually struggled to make the time, um, and thought it was almost impossible to do it on time. But in this local, I've definitely got the power, to get round the Fife Circle. Um, and as I say, this isn't the normal type of local you would expect, to be running the service. So even just that, getting out of the station and up to 30 miles an hour very, very quickly. So one of my tactics in the 158 was to just go beyond the speed limit. As long as you don't go 1 mile an hour over, you don't lose points for speeding. And that seemed to help me make the time. And again, I'm cautious of the speed here because I am coming into Rosyth. Again, I'm downhill, so I can get up to that 65 very, very quickly. And then, of course, I have to slow down very, very quickly. So you see, I'm in full reverse and full brakes on, and it's a it's a challenge to slow this thing down. Although I did manage to stop just a little bit early again. That man on the side obviously enjoying his music. That's close enough, that'll do. So we're at Rosyth now, we've only got a few more stops to do. So Inverkeithing, North Queensferry, South Gyle, Haymarket and Edinburgh. So there we go, off to Inverkeithing next. So as you can see, the stations aren't that far apart, but if you were to drive between them, it's a good bit longer. So I would say that the service is actually quite a good one. So again, I know they've got the 30 coming up, so I'm going to try and get a bit, but it also looks like we've got a red as well. Next signal looks like it will be red. Which that's going to cost me some time. The buttons are so easy to push too long. So again, we've got a fairly sharp bend at this junction. This is where the Fife circle closes. I don't know how close to the signal that you need to be to trigger it. Because of course I don't want to go past it. So this junction is a fairly busy one, with obviously the main line coming from in front of us off to the left. That heads the route that we went last night, from Edinburgh all the way up to Aberdeen. And this side is the Fife Circle side. So that looks like it might be the train that we're waiting on. So again, this is the immersiveness of the game, that actually you have to wait for other trains, as if there's a real timetable running. And it's not like a game where you've got to have other players to fill the world. It's filled by AI programmed trains. So again here, I know I've got plenty time to get into the station, so I don't have to rush my actions. I quite like this station again for the detail, the pink blocks on the waiting room building, the ramp up to the main road. And again, this is a very nice long platform, as it's one of the mainline stations, so there's plenty of room for my train here. Some of the stations in Fife are so short platform that if you're on a longer train, only certain coaches have doors that can open at certain stations. So you do have to sit, if you're getting off at those stations, you do have to kind of sit in the middle of the train, as normally the front is out and the back is hanging out as well. This train is long for the Fife Circle, but short for most of the Fife stations. As I say, it's normally a 2 or a 3 car DMU rather than a local hauled 6-car train. So we've got some tunnels coming up, so I'll put the lights on now so I don't forget. Probably not allowed in the real world, but the game, so So we can see the bridges coming into view, and obviously we've got all three bridges. I don't think there's a petrol station there. Um, I'll need to check, but I noticed that last night and I thought that's definitely not right. So we're coming into 60, and then we're into a tunnel, and in that tunnel I'll start to slow down for this station. So I think I'm kind of aiming to get 30 as I'm coming into a station. I think that's what the game expects you to do. Oops. And I made another mistake. I'm going to leave it here for tonight though, as I'm not doing that all again. So if you're those people that watched the whole way through, thanks for watching.